Hi, everyone. I hope you're doing fine today. I'm going to share with you my presentation. Just give me a second. Okay, Jorge, can you confirm me that you see the presentation?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Daniela Mendoza, and as Jorge said, I'm from Mexico. And today I'm here to talk to you about my perspective being a young professional in the steel industry. So to start, I'm going to share with you a few facts about me, just for you to get to know me a little bit. So my name is Daniela Eli. I'm 22 years old and I live in Monterrey, Mexico. I recently graduated from a mechanical engineer degree from Universidad Autónoma de Nuevo León. It's a university here in the state where I live. And right now, I am holding the position of operations engineer in Ternium, Mexico, specifically in Planta Guerrero. It's been a journey, I would say long, but not that long, but because I am still young. But it's been a journey since I started in the company until right now that I have a permanent position. So I'm going to share with you a little bit about it. Ternium has different talent development programs. First, you start as a trainee when you're still a student, and then you jump to a different one that is a young professional program or global trainee program. So I started the supply chain, started there because at the beginning they asked me what I wanted to do, what I wanted to be, and what I wanted to become. And at first I thought that that was my path. So I started at the supply chain as an analyst, and they assigned me a project where I got to work with sales and clients, and I stayed there for 6 months. And then they asked me again what I was feeling with my job. And I realized that I wanted something different. And that's what I said to them. So they gave me the opportunity to be in something related to the products and related to the process. And I jumped to the quality department, specifically the product design department. I worked in the code rolling section, and I had a very interesting project about steels that were made to the automotive sector. And because of that project, they gave me the opportunity that 6 months before I graduated, I became a young professional. And I started in the steelworks as an operations engineer. And there I learned a lot about the process of the steel making. And I got to work in the caster process. And later on, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it, just to get you in context about what I do in my daily basis. But I was there for 6 months as an operations engineer. And after that, I felt like I was lacking of knowledge about the hot rolling process because I were in the steelworks. And before that, I worked in the hot rolling section, and I felt like I needed to know about the hot rolling process. And that's what I asked for. So they sent me to be a process engineer in the hot rolling mill. And until this point, when I was a young professional, I was in a 6 months rotation program. This means that in every position, I stayed for 6 months and then changed. This is a program that has the main objective that you have a more complete vision about what the company does and what the company is looking for. So after this point, I realized that the hot rolling process was one of my favorite things and I wanted to know more. So they asked me if I wanted to do an interview for a permanent position in this process, in the hot rolling process. And I was given the opportunity to now being part of the hot rolling team as a permanent member in operations. And right now I'm an operations engineer in the hot rolling number 2, in the line number 2 in Ternium, Mexico. And just to talk with you a little bit about what I do and what can you expect from this industry if you want to join us, I'm going to talk about my main responsibilities. And just to explain a little bit more about my responsibilities, I want you to talk about the process that I am working now. So the plant where I work is a CSP plant. This means that it's a continuous line since the steel works, where we get to make the steel in the electric arc furnaces, until our final product, that is our hot coil. Just before the hot mill, we have the caster. The caster is where you pour into a mold, you pour the steel into a mold, and you form slabs. And the slabs, you cut them and you put it in a furnace so you can heat it up before you roll the material. So as an operations engineer, they assigned me to be in charge of the furnace in the hot mill. So one of my main responsibilities is that we have the furnace in operating conditions, and it requires a lot of attention and a lot of follow with the maintenance team, to know what we have to do next to get to have a furnace that is okay for the process, that is stable enough for the process. And also I get to work in some improvement projects, some of them related to safety, some of them related to increase productivity of the productive line, and some of them involve quality topics, just to assure that our final product has the required quality levels that Ternium has. Another important point of my job in my daily life is resource management. This means that I have to work with the purchase team, and well, first I have to check the productivity levels in the month. So then I calculate the budget for the parts and the resources we're going to need for the furnace. And then I get to work with the purchase team to assure that we have the supplies that we are going to need for the month, and the spare parts we are going to need for the month, all according to the budget that is related to the production. This is about me. This talk has been about me and my experience and how I became what I am now. But with this talk, I want you to remember something more than that. I don't want you to remember what I did to become who I am. I want you to remember that the steel industry is an industry that is global. Steel is a material that we all use in our daily lives. Everywhere, no matter where we live, no matter where we are from, it's a global industry. And this is why it is a multicultural and diverse industry. I would say one of the most multicultural and diverse. And this industry is always developing new technologies and new products and new processes, is always growing, and is always looking for a wide range of careers and a wide range of talents in young people, first of all in young people, because we are the future of the of the industry. This is an industry that is always evolving, and I don't want you to feel like because I am an engineer is the only way or the only path you can take to be a part of this industry, because it is not like that. This industry has a lot of departments that require young talent, and what I recommend you to do is that you study or where you become a professional that you can be comfortable with, that is according of who you are and who you want to be in the future. There are so many departments that you can fit in the steel industry, such as human resources, business, supply chain, product design, and the engineering side or in the industrial side. But in the reality, you can be whatever you want, and with experience, you can grow as a professional to the path that you want to follow. So that is the message. If you want to remember something for this talk, I want you to remember that you can join to this industry, being whatever you want to be and being comfortable with what you are doing. And this is my experience. And I don't know if any of you have any questions, but I can answer them right now. And thank you so much for being here and for listening to me today.
Thank you so much for your presentation, Daniela. And we do have one question from Ahmad Yala, and is why did you prefer hot rolling than other processes?
I felt like it was a main process, the process that moved the entire country, the entire company, sorry. Ternium recently opened a new productive line, and it's a hot rolling mill. It's the line that has the most technology right now, and I felt curious about it, and I wanted to learn more about it. Just thinking in the future, no, I thought that this process was really interesting. It has a lot of process variables that you can learn from, and that's why.
Okay, thank you. And we do have another question. Did you deal with Peritech before? I don't know if that makes sense for you.
What? I didn't listen to you. Peritech steel. Yes. I wasn't in charge of the caster when I were in the steelworks, but yes, it is a process that is very difficult, and you have to be very, you have to put all your attention in the line when you are processing peritective steel, because it is a steel that requires different conditions from other steels, and it almost, I don't want to say always, but almost always, you have operational problems when you are making peritectic steels. So if that responds to your question. Yeah, it is very difficult. Thank you for your question.
Yes, I did it. It did. Thank you, Daniela. And one last question. Can you share us one specific experience that make you feel proud of you, or some specific experience, I don't know, situation or something that you can remember proudly about being in the steel industry?
Think about it. I have always been proud because I know this is an industry that from the outside seems scary and seems big and seems, I don't know, just, I would say scary because that was how I felt before joining this industry. And I feel proud of being in the industrial side, being so young and being also a woman. This is in the reality, in the real life, it is an industry that doesn't have so much women even now. It is true that we are more than before, but we are not a majority. And so it's a challenge every day, and I feel proud just to just because of the fact that now I am gained and I was given the opportunity to be where right now I am. So I don't know if you wanted an answer that was more about an experience in my work or with some project, but talking about this side of being a young professional, that is what made me proud every day. And with the project, I would say when I was still a trainee, when I was in product design, I got to work in a project, and my project involved different areas such as engineering and such as cost. I showed at the end my results to the team, and I shared with them the beneficial cost of my project. I work with some steel grades to make them better and to make the process more stable. And at the end of the project, it was there was a beneficial cost of the where we implemented the project. So I felt very proud, and I think that's why they gave me the opportunity to be a young professional before I got graduated, because of that project. I think that they liked it as well as I am.